What is going on, you guys? You are watching The World According to Eric with the baddest on the block, Eric Devante. And tonight we are at the Taglyan Cultural Complex for the 9th Annual Truth Awards, celebrating 9 years of living in our truth. Make sure you stay tuned to The World According to Eric. Judge Maybelline, you look gorgeous. Yes, how does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards, presenting one of your colleagues and friends, Judge Mathis, with the Family Award?
Well, it feels wonderful. First of all, it feels good to be out again, to be out of COVID, to be mingling among friends, and to be in this crisp, cool air, but at the same time it's fresh because we've had all of that rain, so that feels good. And I'm always honored to give an award to my friend and my colleague. I'm glad to know that he's been recognized for the work that he and his family are doing in the LGBTQ community. And of course, I support Scott Hamilton, the Better Brothers of Los Angeles. I love the work they're doing. I love the work that Sheryl Lee Ralph has been doing for years with the DIVA Foundation. And I've just been a supporter all my life.
What would you say is the reason why it's important to have events like this where we celebrate and honor the achievements of the Black LGBTQIA community?
Because again, they are not part of the big community. They're segregated, separated, set aside, are not often recognized and loved. So they have to be loved, and they, just like we had to start the National Bar Association when black people weren't allowed to be lawyers. We had to start the Black Women Lawyers Association to help black women as lawyers in the community. So unfortunately, when you have a society that does not accept and does not bring everybody in and does not treat everybody equally, then we have to have our own awards so that we can honor ourselves. And so since the world won't honor them, since the nation won't honor them, they present their own awards, and that's absolutely wonderful because they're doing work. They're doing great work in the community, but being ignored simply because they're LGBTQ. So do it yourself.
Okay, with me, I have our scholarship recipients of the evening. Gentlemen, how does it feel to be receiving this money, this honor? How does it feel?
God is a good God.
He is. The blessed.
Yeah, that's my quote for the night.
Amen.
And it's so true.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling ready to take this money. I've been needing it. I've been feeling for it like trust for a minute. So my hands are open. Don't worry.
I feel extremely blessed and grateful.
Yeah, I feel humbled and grateful to be able to continue to do the work that I love to do, which is working in higher education and conducting social science research, especially for gender and equity, which is my research interest. So, man, I'm just proud, 100%. Yeah.
Come on, gender and equity. It sounds like generational wealth. Okay. Prosperity, all that. What? Give me one word to describe how y'all felt when y'all realized that y'all were being honored by the Truth Awards. Whoever's ready first.
Humbled.
Okay.
I felt empowered. And when I say empowered, it's more so about the fact that, you know, the work that I'm doing, it's meaningful and it's purposeful. And God telling me to say, hey, you know what? Keep going. You got this. You're doing what you're supposed to do right now in this moment. And other people are looking up to you, especially, you know, just being myself and coming from a long road of trying to get to these moments of doing the work that I'm doing. So I'm just really proud, honestly, and empowered. Yeah.
I feel feeling a purpose and motivation. Like this was in the cards, it's the stars above. Like the universe was calling to me, and I answered, and so now we're here.
Okay. No missed phone calls, all 2023.
Period. Okay. For me, it's like galvanized. Like lately, I've been using that word a lot this year. Galvanized, to be charged, to have like an electric like current sent through you. I don't know. We have mentors and we have teams of advisors. And every now and then, like you take their advice and you don't take their advice, and you feel like you're kind of taking a jab at people that you don't take advice all the time from. But it's really just this exercise of standing firm in your decision-making skills.
How does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
Oh, I'm so excited. First of all, I've never been able to attend one, so to be here tonight and just around all this love and acceptance, I'm so excited. Yeah.
I'm so excited to have you here. I want you to know that you have really shifted the culture with your role in P-Valley and just everything you've done in pop culture. How does it feel for you to be so successful just living in your truth?
It's overwhelming because, you know, people think that, you get Hollywood. I'm like, I'm just still Brandy, man. So, it feels good to feel like that I'm reaching the women and the men. These stories on P-Valley are reaching people. It's opening people's minds who were closed-minded. So I love that, people are like, wait a minute, I might not be a Lil Murder, but I know someone like Lil Murder or Uncle Clifford, and that's my family member, and I love them and I see them. So that's why I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Brandy, please keep doing all that you do because the kids are living for it. Yes, have a great rest of your evening and welcome to the Truth Awards. With me, I have the recipient of the Advocate Award, Dr. David. How does it feel to be receiving such an honor tonight?
It's a wonderful thing. Anytime you can get an award from the community, it means the world. I've always told this to people, like the places you work for, the institutions you work for, it's great to receive awards and accolades from them, but when it comes from your own, it just means a lot more.
Now, I read a bit into your story a few days ago, and I read about the struggles you had coming out to your father and him not necessarily understanding. And, the Mathis family is here, because Judge Mathis is so supporting of that. How do you feel like that part of your upbringing affected you, coming out to your dad and him not being as receptive?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. My father was an old school Caribbean father with like traditional masculine notions. So I think he kind of thought it would change who I was or what I did or how I acted. And it wasn't a time where people were too accepting. We're talking about the early 90s here and we're 2023. So what you see with Judge Mathis and what's going on with his son is a phenomenal thing. It just gives me hope that like as each generation goes on, the culture has advanced where now we actually have parents and families that are more accepting of people just living in their truth and being who they are, rather than turning them away. Of course, we still have those examples that are happening, but for the most part, the culture has shifted a little bit. It may take more time, but it's a good thing. We're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. What advice do you have to kids or anyone really who are having that family pushback because of them coming out?
I think you have to stand in your own truth. It's a cliche that people use all the time. So the other part I would say about this is actually extending grace. So, right, and what I mean by that is that a lot of times people will say, well, the family has to extend grace to the same gender loving or the queer kid to say, okay, we're going to forgive that kid for not being a heterosexual, quote unquote, normal person. But I think it's on us as Black queer people to actually look at our family members and realize and give them grace and say, you know what? They can't catch up. They may catch up in time, but they don't get this. And that's okay. They're being who they are. So that's what I try to tell people to do all the time. You can't get upset about people if they expected you to be a certain way and all of a sudden you're developing, you're saying, no, I'm actually like this. Give them grace so that they can come along in this journey. Whether it's your own journey, you're privy to it the entire time, but they may not know. And all of a sudden you come out and invite them into your reality and say, hey, this is who I am. And they reject it immediately because it's not something they were thinking about before. So sometimes you got to give people a little bit of time to kind of adjust. But I think it's a hard thing to do. It's a hard balance.
I have the recipient of the Icon Award, Raven-Symoné, and her beautiful wife, Miranda. How does it feel to be receiving such an honor tonight?
I'm humbled. I am just excited, happy, emotional, little scared at the same time. Like, what does that mean? Do I live up to that title? So there's a lot of emotions going on.
You supersede that title. And when you think about all that you've accomplished in your career, I mean, from That's What Little Girls Are Made Of to Raven's Home, That's So Raven, Cheetah Girls, all of that. Like, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you think about your career achievements?
Honey, I'm tired.
What are you talking about?
Woo! I'm just playing. It just feels like a long time. I've been doing the same thing since I was 3 years old, so I feel like that box is filled and I need to close it off and I need to start working on something new so me as an adult can feel as fulfilled as I did as a teenager doing all of that work, and that's happening right now, and it wouldn't happen right now if it wasn't for that younger version of me, so thank you. And girl, go sit down. You worked. Go sit down somewhere.
Well, I'm interested to know, you've done, participated in so many different mediums, from music to movies, all of it. What's one area of your career where you're like, I wish I gave this a little more time? I wish I went a little harder in this area, because you've done it all. Superstition, I was bumping that today. I want you to know.
Sorry, that was Coco, and I love that. She's everything. It's funny, it would probably be music, because every time I did music, I was also doing it in tandem with a acting job, and I didn't do it for the right reasons. And I talk to her all the time. I'm like, Don't tell me to sing. I'm not doing no more albums. I'm never going to sing again. That's not going to happen. It's just, I have to really be in it. I worked with some amazing people, and I love them to death, and I made the bestest of friends, but my energy and my 1,000 hours are going to go into directing. I really, truly follow the 1,000-hour rule, so that's happening.
I want to say congratulations. You are an icon, and thank you for being one of the stars of my life. Yes, congratulations, and have an amazing evening. With me from the Upshaws, Mr. Jermel Simon. I'm here for this suit, a whole ensemble. Okay, look. A little something. How does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
It feels good. I mean, the Upshaws is getting awarded the Culture and Arts Award. This is my first time receiving an award for the work that we've done. Shout outs to the Upshaws writers for creating magic. And it feels good. I'm a little, I don't want to say nervous, you know. I mean, I'm with the Queen Regina Hicks, so, you know. I feel good. I feel cold, but I feel good.
I think we all feel cold, but you got slits, so you might be a little cold. I want to ask you, what do you think it is about the Upshaws that makes it so relatable and impactful at a time where sitcoms aren't as prevalent as they used to be? What is it about you guys?
I think that we just bring like hilarity to everyday life. You know, I think we talk about heavy topics, but we bring light to it. And even in my own life, you know, in filming the show now for 3 years, it makes me become aware of all the humor in life. Like, if you think about it, there's nothing really to stress about. It all gets better. And, you know, at the end of our episodes, we might not come to a conclusion with everything, but we get a good idea about it. And I feel like that's everyday life, where you can find the good in anything if you're searching for it. So we find the funny in absolutely everything. So I think people can relate to that, you know.
And it's not just like TV sitcom funny, like y'all cut up. Like, I see my family in that. I'm like, y'all curse, y'all get...
Yeah. I think they did a really good job casting, I don't want to say authentic black people, but like we all understood the assignment for sure. So it's a great ensemble cast that we just click and we just get it. So, yeah.
You work with icons and legends on your show. Wanda Sykes, Mike Epps, what has that been like for you as an actor, as, you know, a content consumer?
Yeah, I think at first it was a bit surreal, and I think at times I still pinch myself. Like I did a scene with Mike, Wanda, and Kim all together, and I stopped and I was like, man, I'm really in here with Mike Epps, Wanda Sykes, Kim Fields, and I learned so many things. I soak up so many things. I found my comedy lane, because at first you're just trying to figure out, how can I fit in with stand-up comedians like Mike Epps, you know what I mean? And then you realize, no, you got your own lane. You bounce off of him in however way, you know? So I think this year I've understood my comedy lane. So I've learned a lot, yeah.
The recipient of the Advocate Award, the founder of the Unique Women's Coalition, Queen Shayla. How does it feel to receive such an honor tonight and to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
Well, thank you. I'm actually pretty honored. I'm pretty excited that anytime that our organization gets honored and recognized for our efforts, you know, it's really a good thing. It says that we're on the right track, that we're doing something positive, and that's really, and it's when it's from people that look like us, you know, it really has a special cherry on top.
I've been reading about the Unique Women's Coalition, and you guys are doing a lot of amazing work in the community. But I want to ask you, what do you feel like is the next major milestone for the trans movement as a whole? What is the next piece of change that we need to see?
Well, I think one, we are going to be more financially literate. We're going to be creating more businesses, more financial streams of income. And I think the other thing is that we are going to be working on more legislation, more policy. And I think those are the two things that we could see right away, more immediately.
And I feel like, you know, there's been a lot of strides in the overall LGBTQIA community. However, you know, me being a part of the G in the community, what area would you say other community members may be falling short in terms of supporting the trans movement and pushing it forward?
Well, I think also offering space like this, you know, having that intersectional space where we can all share our stories, our efforts. You know, we don't always get invited to these groups and to these spaces, so I think that is part of something that should happen. More spaces, more access to privilege, more access to people who could fund our mission, who could support our missions.
Yeah, how does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
Well, actually, I was honored at the very first Truth Awards for the Philanthropy Award. I was one of the first honorees. So this is full circle. Glad to be here and see those that are now being presented, after I am.
Now, you have been around for a long time doing the thing. So I want an updated version. What is Wendell's true?
What is my truth? That I struggle with mental health. Like, it took a lot for me to get out here. It took a lot for me to put this on, and I don't mean the physical clothes. I mean the clothes, the attitude, the look, and all that. All you guys expect to see. Most people don't, when they see me on Raising Whitley and stuff, they don't know that's a struggle, but that's a struggle. My sexuality and my religion has been a struggle. That's my truth.
And why is it important where we have a space where we're able to not only acknowledge but honor people who are able to push through and do amazing work like you have, living in their truth?
Well, it's getting better, but it's still hard. Mental health is real. It's still hard for a lot of people out there, and a lot of families aren't accepting of the LGBTQ lifestyle family members, which in our culture means that's how they have the drag mothers and fathers and all that, because in the LGBTQ community, you form families when your biological families.
From the Dahmer series on Netflix, Anthony Omari. How does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
It's an honor. It's actually an honor. Glad to be here. Glad to be here to support and see what the Truth Awards has for me. And it's a pleasure to actually be here and honor the LGBTQ plus community and actually working on a show that showcase a wide story that needs to be told. And I'm actually originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and that, yes, I am. And that story of Jeffrey Dahmer is actually a nightmare. And he was like a boogeyman. And like when I was a kid, people used to say like, "Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer's going to get you," type of thing. And actually working on the show and actually learning the story, even though the good and the backlash that it had, that story needed to be told so people can actually have a greater understanding of what was going on. And it was actually, to be here is just a blessing. It's just a blessing.
I'm not going to hold you. That was one of the most triggering, traumatic things I've ever seen on Netflix. But y'all did that. So what was that like for you, just like putting yourself in that space and having to embody that character in that story?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work. It's definitely, I had to do a lot of research. It's a real dark places that the whole cast had to go through, and just to embody such a place and such an experience. And I know Offset, Evan Peters is amazing. He's like, "Oh, you're Anthony. Oh, how you doing?" But once we get on set, you can see the shift, the change in the whole energy on set. So it's all work. It's all a profession. But from transitioning on set and getting into character and getting out of character, it is definitely a process. That yes.
I can't even begin to imagine. But y'all brought it to life. Y'all did an amazing job. With me, I have content creator, animator, dancer, multifaceted gentleman, Dimitri Durham, and I'm so proud of everything that you've been accomplishing. How does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
This was amazing. This is my first one. Really? Yeah, I've never been here, but I got invited this time, so I'm really excited to see what it's about. I already see like a lot of people that I know, and everybody looks beautiful, and I'm just really excited. So
it's only a matter of time before you get honored at one of these.
Yes, I would love that actually, but I think I'm going to be here like every year now because this is amazing.
This is the spot where all Black LGBTQIA members need to be. I mean, it's a phenomenal event. So I want you to tell the people what you have coming up, because like I said, you're an animator, a dancer, you do so much. I mean, brand ambassador for all the food spots in LA. So tell the people what they need to look out from you.
So I have a Black and Afro-Latino comic book coming out. I'm trying to have the first issue out by June, Juneteenth, Black, what I'm saying? So I'm trying to do that. So, and then of course, I hope the food page takes off a little more. It's doing really well.
Plug the food page, Good Food Gurus.
Good Food Gurus on every platform, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Instagram. What else? Oh, this is news as of yesterday. So the pilot that I shot on November just got greenlit for a whole season, and it will be on Amazon Prime soon. So I'll tell you more about that later. But yes.
Just drop a gem for people that are needing to live in their truth and find their light in this world.
You know something, people always ask me, how do I do it? How do I live and accept who I am? And it's like I tell everybody, I love me. I love me so much, and it is because of my acceptance of me just as I am that I'm able to love and others just as they are. You know, sometimes I give my husband here a hard time, but he loves me too, don't you, baby? Thank you. Thank you. So, you know, that's it. You got to love yourself. Got to respect yourself. You got to look in the mirror and love what you see. You've got to lift that image up. You've got to empower it. You've got to encourage it. Just love it to the love it just like that. And you know, it's not easy. Look, it took me what? A long time to completely love myself. So take the time to love you.
In the past, we've always fought for civil rights. He was born into civil rights family and worked in civil rights as of 6 years old when he walked in the south side of Chicago with Jesse Jackson. And so he's been prepared for this moment, and he's going to take it.
No, that's a light flex. A light flex.
You know, what I say is there's no better feeling than being honored for just being yourself and being who you really are. Tonight, the Truth Awards is about liberation. It's about freedom for everybody, no matter what, no matter who you are. And that's what our family has always been about. That's what I was raised in. And so to see all of that come full circle is no greater feeling. And I thank the Truth Awards for highlighting people who are doing this important work and encouraging everybody to live in their truth.
Most definitely. Now, speaking of living in your truth, how was that like allowing your truth to play out on TV, on a reality show? What was that experience like for you guys?
It was scary. It was scary. I'm not going to lie to you. My dad, thank God, he's been on TV for 25 years, so he was encouraging us all, and all he said was, look, be yourself. The worst thing you can do is go on TV and try and be somebody else and look back and not be happy about it. We were all being ourselves, maybe having a little bit more fun than we did in front of the camera, but at the end of the day, that's what's so special about the show that we were able to do.
Judge, I want to ask you specifically, because a lot of times people tend to quote their understanding or lack of understanding around the Black LGBTQIA community based on the generation that they come from. So what would you say happened in your life experience that makes you so progressive and open to understanding?
My brother, he was gay, and he was 8 years older than me, but by the time I was 8, we knew he was gay, because by age 7, my mother was convinced. And so I was raised in a household with a gay brother whom we loved dearly, and his friends would come over and we welcome all his friends. So it was normalized for me, and I was prepared for this moment by that. You know, sometimes you might think it's the hand of God that prepares you for things that you're going to fight for in the future, and that might very well be the case today.
Well, congratulations. Did you want to add something?
No, I was just going to say, following up about my Uncle Steve, I wish he could be here with us tonight. He's no longer with us, but like my dad said, I mean, even when I was growing up as a young, unsure black boy, I didn't know anything, but I looked at my Uncle Steve and I knew that it was possible to live as a gay black man. It was possible to be confident in who you are. And so again, it's so important for people to see examples like that. And he didn't even know I was looking at him growing up, but I don't think I'd be here without him, without that hope that one day I could do exactly what he did, which is live in his truth and be confident and strong about it.
From P-Valley, John Clarence Stewart, how does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Award?
I'm just honored to be here. It's just, the work that they do is so beautiful, and I'm an ally, and I just feel grateful to be included, to be here and represent stars in the work that they're doing, and I'm just grateful, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I want to commend you on a truly impactful, just having an impactful role on P-Valley. What was that like for you, being an ally but playing a gay character? Like, were people open to that? Did you receive backlash? What was the experience like for you?
It was an incredible experience. I mean, for me, the whole point of everything is everyone deserves to see themselves, Everyone deserves to see themselves in their contours and the complexity and the darkness and the light. And I felt like honored to be able to step into the shoes of Big Teak for that time. As far as the response from people, the response that I listened to are those for whom it was meant. And those for whom it was meant saw themselves. And that's how I know that we did the work that needed to be done. Yeah.
Now, taking on that role, how do you feel like it impacted you as an actor? Do you feel like you learned more about your artistic skills and capabilities? Did you learn more about yourself? How was that? Like, what did that experience do for you?
I think that for me, each character is a new journey, and I think there was a depth of sorrow and ache inside of Teak that I think I noticed in myself in some ways. Different but similar. And I think that the beautiful thing about his life and his story is that I saw myself in him. And I think because of that, other people could see themselves in him as well. And as far as the things that I take away from him, I think that he has so much joy as well as the darkness, right? And I think that duality is what makes us so beautifully human.
Okay. With me, I have author, minister, black man, gay man. What else do? You do everything, Ben.
Live and love and travel the world.
Ben Carlton, ladies and gentlemen, how does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
It's always a joy when we can come together and celebrate who we really are, because the world constantly beats us up and tells us that we are unworthy of this type of love, adoration, celebration, and acknowledgement. They just passed in Kenya making, LGBTQ organizations illegal. They just passed in Tennessee banning drag brunches. Now in Oklahoma, they're threatening to ban trans care. So to be able to come out and celebrate in the midst of all this craziness is amazing.
Leave it to you to drop gems of culture, because I heard about some of that, but I didn't hear about all of that. But like,
legally, by law, they're making it illegal for drag shows. If you're transgender, you can't receive health care. Like, what world are we living in?
Hell.
Yeah, we're going backwards. So to be able to come out freely, thank you, California. Thank you, Governor Newsom. Thank you, all the freedom fighters who made this space free for us.
Why do you feel like there is this agenda to just like keep the LGBTQIA community in the past or in the dark?
Generally, people tend to pick on the weakest of these and the people who they consider the least of these. And we just have come out of a 2-year pandemic. The economy's shot. And so people are angry, and they have to figure out where to turn this anger and energy. So you always pick on who you deem the weakest of these, because our lives do not pose any threat. Right? They're banning drag shows because they want to protect children, but the number one killer of children are not drag queens. The number one killer of children are guns. And so these same people who are writing laws to ban drag shows have done nothing on gun reform. And so it's absolutely has nothing to do with morals, has nothing to do with values, has everything to do with hate, boredom, and the need to pick on someone less than.
I mean, I hear that, and I don't want to get too heavy about this because I know we could go. You know what it gives. But, on a lighter note, why is it important to have an event like this where we are celebrating and acknowledging the achievements of the Black LGBTQIA community?
It's important to have these type of events because it lets the younger me's, right, the younger yous know that there's a place for you. There's a space for you. When you live in your authenticity, when you live in your truth, there's a space for you. If we don't elevate us and who we are and celebrate all we had to fight through, go through to get to where we are, we don't create a space for people to see. Kids can't become what they don't see. But when they turn on the TV, open up a magazine, open up the internet and see this, it's amazing.
With me, I have Fox News correspondent Richard Fowler. You are at the 9th Annual Truth Awards. It is. How does it feel to be here celebrating 9 years of living in our truth?
Well, one, living in your truth is everything. So being here and celebrating with all the amazing honorees tonight, the Mathis family gets an honor, Tabitha Brown, so many others. It's good. It's good to celebrate ourselves. We don't do that enough.
Absolutely. So many heavy hitters. Sure. So since we're talking about living in our truth, what is Richard's truth?
Oh, that's a good question. Listen, I think every day that I wake up and I get the ability to tell really good stories, which is what I do both at Fox and at Forbes, I'm living in my truth. And I get to amplify other folks living in their truth as well. So it's beautiful.
It is. And I caught that light flex is what I do at Fox and Forbes. Okay.
Try my best. I wasn't trying to flex on them too hard.
Look, you work hard, you deserve to flex. What are you most excited about this evening?
Oh, I mean, to see all the honorees, but also just get the people coming together. I mean, I think after a couple years of the pandemic, after all the stuff we're going through, what's happening in Florida, the banning of books, the idea that we can still come together and celebrate, given that we're in an uphill battle for just survival and having a space at the table, really matters. So the idea that we're all together is really important.
Okay, I have the legendary Coco and upcoming legend J. Michael. How does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
Amazing.
Exciting.
Yes, very exciting.
Very exciting.
And y'all are performing. So first, if you could give me a sneak peek, what are y'all performing tonight?
An oldie but a goodie.
Duet by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Yeah, pray for me. I don't know the words for real.
You're Coco. You don't need a prayer in regards to singing, okay? How does it feel for you to see Jay like carrying out the singing legacy?
It's amazing. I didn't expect this to happen, so I'm excited. I'm loving on him. Like, okay, go forth.
And Jay, I mean, I'm sure you know your mom's legacy, one of the greatest voices of the 90s and on, honestly. What are you hoping to do with your music? What is the legacy that you want to set for yourself?
I want to have longevity like her. I mean, she came out in the 90s, still selling out arenas, going out strong. You know, she has a wonderful legacy, and I only hope and wish to have something like that. So that's the goal, really. Have some longevity and inspire people with my music the way she has.
Oh, what you want?
With me, I have host, Love Guru, what entertainer, everything under the fashionista, because these sleeves are nasty. Jay Lamar, everybody. How does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Awards?
It's amazing. I've been to 4 so far, and I've enjoyed every single last one of them. It's great to see the scholarship recipients. It's great to see people that look like us, shining, getting their accolades, looking beautiful. It's an amazing night.
Why is it important for us to have nights like this where we celebrate the achievements of the Black LGBTQIA community?
I think for us, a lot of times we carry a lot on our shoulders. I think we do a lot of the behind the scenes work in the industry and in these at these nonprofits and in corporate America. And tonight is a night where we celebrate us, in which we should be celebrated. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Now, I introduced you as a love guru in part because Jay Lamar is very multifaceted, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let the people know. But there is one thing in particular. You became a marriage counselor, a love counselor. What a dating expert. Give me the specificities, the show that people need to watch.
Yeah, so this season I am on Married at First Sight, Couples Couch, as a dating expert. So tune in. It's exciting. Married at First Sight is one of my favorite franchises. So to now be a part of the franchise and be a part of Couples Couch is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to just see like where this journey takes me. I'm a Black gay man on a major platform like Married at First Sight as a dating expert. Child, that is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't God good? Yes.
I'm so proud of you. So give me the network, the airing times, the people need to be tuned in.
Okay, so you can check me out on Lifetime Couples Couch Thursdays at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central.
Recipient of the Courage Award, Byron Perkins. How does it feel to be at the 9th Annual Truth Award?
Well, it's an honor nonetheless. I appreciate everybody who has given me the opportunity to have a platform, and I appreciate Better Brothers Los Angeles for giving me this beautiful award, and yeah.
Okay. As you should. Now, when you first dropped that tweet, did you think it would be as impactful as it's been?
In today's society, it's actually surprising that it would be as impactful as it was, right? But it was. It made a splash, and it was able to, you know, make an impact on people's lives, and I don't regret that in any regard.
How has the HBCU reception been since, you know, coming out and living in your truth?
Yeah, give me that. My school's had my back. Shout out HU. We the real HU. Howard, I gotta let y'all know, man. Y'all don't got it like we do. But, yeah, shout out HU, and I appreciate the student body for giving me the most love and support. Thank you for that.
I know that's right. So please let me know what your feelings were before you hit tweet. I want to know, like, were the nerves shot? Were you like nervous?
I mean, who wouldn't be nervous, like coming out to the world, right? Especially when it's been, you know, considered taboo, especially in the Black community. But I was nervous. I was anxious. I was all of the us's in the book. I was all of that. I was like, but nah. when I finally hit send, I was like, okay, nothing can hurt me now, because anybody who has the ammunition to try to hurt me won't have it anymore. And, you know, I'll be able to make this happen on my own terms, and it's my decision. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to commend you again, because that was big. That was low-key iconic. I ain't even going to hold you. Yeah, okay. Feel that. So last question I want to ask you. Damn, forgot the last question I wanted to ask you. We're going to edit that right on out. But the last question that I wanted to ask you is, why is it important for people that are struggling to live in their truth to live in their truth? And like, what advice do you have to athletes that are on a similar journey as you?
I feel like it's important for people who aren't living in their truth to do so, because people need representation. And any athlete that's out there struggling, just know that I was in your shoes. I can't speak on everybody's story. I'm not living in everybody's life. But more than anything, I want to emphasize, do it on your time. You don't have to come out right now. You don't have to come out 20 years from now. But more than anything, it's about you. It's about what you want. It's about what your soul wants. That's what matters the most.
You guys, I had an incredible time at the 9th Annual Truth Awards. I got to speak to so many people, including one of my idols, Raven-Symoné. Thank you so much for tuning in to The World According to Eric. Catch us next time.